is flying, this is also change. It stops, the bird stops flying, it's a change. An ant is walking, that is a change. You are walking, that is change. You stop walking, you sit, that is change. So this change is going on and on and on. Now see, when the shape, size, color or composition of an object becomes different, a change is said to have occurred. You say that change has taken place when the shape or size, color or composition inside the things which is object is made of, that is called composition. If the inside composition changes, then we say change have occurred. Now there are many changes are there, but they are broadly categorized into two types. One is reversible changes, another is irreversible changes. Reversible changes, that you can it can reverse be, the changes can be reversed, and original thing can be also, you again get the original thing also. Now so here see, a change is said to be reversible if the object that has undergone the change can be brought back to its original form again. So it can be brought back to original form again, that is called your irreversible change. Suppose you stretch a spring or rubber band, then you release it, it again comes to its initial position, its original position. So you can say this is reversible change. This stretching of rubber band or stretching of spring is also called reversible change. Now no new material is formed in a reversible change. You see, no new material is formed, rubber band remains the same, no new material is formed. The material changes its appearance. It may change its appearance, but not its composition. Inside composition remains the same. The things with which it is made of, that remains the same. The material may change its appearance, it may change color, shape like this, but even form it may change, but the composition does not change. Now a very good example of this is the melting of a substance is a reversible change. If you melt a substance, melt means you just heat a substance, it changes its form. That means पिघलाना जिसे कहते हैं, we said पिघलाना, melting of a substance is a reversible change. When ice butter, the melting takes place in a solid thing. When ice, butter, they are solid. When ice, butter or chocolate melt, when these three things melt, ice, butter and chocolate, they can change back into their solid form when cooled. When you do reverse process, when you heat, then it becomes liquid, and when you do the reverse process, that means when cooling you do cooling, then it again changes back to its original position. So this is called reversible change. When a liquid is cooled, it changes into a solid, that you know very well. Suppose when you put your liquid, means your water into freezer, it becomes solid, it becomes ice or snow, what you may call it, it becomes ice there. So it changes into a solid. If we keep the water back into the freezer, it will become ice. You know, I have told you earlier. The process by which liquid changes back into its solid form is called freezing. So the reverse process known as freezing. Boiling, evaporation and condensation are also reversible changes. These things, boiling, you know that when you heat a substance, it is called boiling, and when you heat it to so much extent that it starts leaving your particles starts leaving the surface area of the liquid or fluid, it is called evaporation, and condensation is the bringing back to its liquid form, that is called condensation. So these all are reversible changes. Now coming to irreversible changes. So see, a change is said to be irreversible if the object that has undergone the change cannot be brought back to its original form again. You can't bring back to its original form again. That is called irreversible change. For example, if an egg has been fried into an omelette, here see, egg has been fried into an omelette. Can you bring back omelette to again to egg? No. We cannot change an omelette back into the original egg. So this is irreversible change. Many things are irreversible in your. If you cook suppose you cook your aloo bhujia, you cook your potato chips, so you cannot bring back to original potato. So these are all cooking etc. are also they come under irreversible change. Okay, burning is irreversible change. Now here, since irreversible changes cannot be undone means they cannot be brought back to original form. They are permanent. So they are permanent. You can again bring back to the original position. They are permanent. These changes are irreversible changes are permanent, and the reversible changes are temporary. Such changes result in the formation of new substance. New substance are formed. Heating and mixing substances can cause irreversible changes. If you heat a substance or mix a substance, do it separately or do it combinedly, then you can. That is irreversible changes. For example, when we mix a little curd with milk, yogurt is formed. You know, you can form yogurt by mixing a little curd, which we call jamun, to the milk. Yogurt is formed. Yogurt cannot be changed back into milk. So this is a very good example of irreversible change. The ripening of fruits is also an example of an irreversible change, because after fruits get ripened, it cannot be brought back to its original raw form. So it is already done to ripened stage. Burning also leads to an irreversible change. I have told you earlier, burning is also an irreversible change. A child growing into an adult, the growth of a child into adult is an example of an irreversible change. So these are irreversible changes. Now, solutions. What are solutions? We will read about solutions. A solution is formed when two or more substances mix together. When you mix two or more substances, two or more than two, then solutions are formed, such that they are evenly distributed. The distribution should be even. That means it should पूरे liquid में फैल जाना चाहिए. उसको कहते हैं solution. If that is not evenly distributed, then we can't call it a solution. It should be evenly distributed. पूरे एक ही ढंग से पूरे उसमें फैल जाना चाहिए liquid के अंदर. Suppose सबसे बढ़िया एग्जाम्पल लिक्विड है. बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल इज वाटर. व्हेन वी मिक्स सॉल्ट इन वाटर, वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल. व्हेन वी सॉल्ट इन वाटर, द सॉल्ट कंप्लीटली dissolves in water, and after some time, and this salty water is known as a solution. So when you see that your salt has been dissolved, so you can tell that salty water is formed. This salty water is known as solution. This is also known as saline water. Salty water or saline water is known as a solution. You can also form solution of sugar solution you can form. So likewise, but this should be mixed, properly mixed, completely should be dissolved in the medium, in the water. Here the water is the medium. So this should be dissolved. Salt and sugar, they must be dissolved. They must dissolve in the liquid. The substance that dissolves is called the solute. Here solute is the substance that dissolves is called solute. Here the substance is salt or sugar, that is solute. Here salt is the solute. The substance in which a solute dissolves is called solvent. Here water is solvent. Any liquid may be solvent. Water is the solvent here. Since most substance dissolve in water, it is known as universal solvent. Which is water. Water is known as universal solvent. You can say in a nutshell, you can say, if a solute is dissolved in a solvent, solute is added to a solvent and dissolved, it spreads evenly into the solvent, a solution is formed. Okay. This is all about solution. Now, example, salt is solute, water is solvent. The salty solution will be formed. Substances that dissolve in water are called soluble substances. That dissolve in water are known as soluble substances such as salt, milk and sugar are common solutes that dissolves in water. These are common solutes, salt, milk and sugar that dissolve in water. Have you ever tried to dissolve sand in water? Have you tried? It won't dissolve. Does it dissolve? No. No substances that do not dissolve in water are called insoluble substances. As it does not, sand does not dissolve in water, it is called insoluble substance. Okay? Sand is an insoluble substance. And the example of insoluble substances are sand, mud, glass, pebbles and oil are all insoluble in water. They can't be dissolved in water. They are known as insoluble substances. Can you name two other substances that are insoluble in water? You have to do it yourself. You have to name two other substances that are insoluble in water. Now coming to mixtures. What happens when we add lemon juice and sugar in water to make a lemonade? We called it shikanji in our Desi language, in our Hindi language we call it shikanji. Lemon juice and sugar in water, that is called lemonade. In Hindi we call it shikanji. A mixture is formed. A mixture is a substance made by combining two or more different substances in such a way that no chemical reaction occurs. There is nothing heat. You see that no heat is evolved, no chemical reaction, no new substance is formed, then that is called mixture. If no new substance is formed, no heat is evolved, then we can say mixture is formed. We can usually separate the components of a mixture by one or many processes. There are some processes are there. You can separate the components of the mixture. A mixture of solid particles of different sizes can be separated by sieving or hand picking. With the help of hand picking, suppose there are some conchs, small stone pieces in your chawal, in your rice grains. They are very small stone pieces, and you can by hand picking, you can separate this from your rice. You spread the rice on a thali, then you can slowly take them out. This is called chalni, sieve, S-I-E-V, sieve, chalni. You can shake this, so you can separate your atta, and this your atta or flour you can separate by sieving process. You can also do sieving in when you after making tea. Your tea leaves are separate from your tea, liquid tea. So this process of sieving is also used to separate pebbles and stones from sand at construction sites. We have seen that pebbles and stones are separated from sand in construction sites. Okay, next is filtration. There is this another method, filtration. By filtration, we can separate a mixture of water and insoluble substance like chalk. The substance must be insoluble. There is difficult to separate soluble substance, but insoluble substances can be separated easily. These substances are, you may say, chalk and sand. This is a mixture of chalk and sand can be separated by filtration. What should you do? You should by passing the mixture through a filter paper. So first dissolve this thing in water. It won't dissolve. You add water to it, then you pass through a filter paper. This is the filter paper. When you pass, the sand is separated and water goes into this beaker. This is beaker. Water is pure water is going into the beaker and sand is retained by the filter paper. The insoluble substances remain on the filter paper, what that I have said, that is your sand, that is retained by the filter paper, and water gets collected below in the beaker. An example of filtration used at homes is the separation of tea leaves from sea using strainer. So chalni. So you can filter it through strainer. Strainer means chalni. So you can separate your tea by filtration. Evaporation. By dissolving salt in water, we make a solution. You know, if you dissolve salt in water, we make a pure solution. The salt disappears into water. You know, how can this? It is difficult to get back salt from water, but you can do that. We can separate the salt from water by boiling the solution. You take the beaker and pour the solution mixture in it and start heating it. What happens? As you heat it, water will evaporate. Okay? The water will evaporate until it is all gone. You see, all water will be evaporated and the left behind will be your salt, which has been originally dissolved in water. So water has gone out and salt particles will remain in your beaker. But it will take time. It will take energy. Heating, it takes energy is being used up. A bit long process. It will take time before water takes much time to evaporate. So, but you will ultimately get back your salt. If we put a lid on the water vapor that evaporates, we can cool it to form water again by the process of condensation. If you put a lid, dhakkan on this, you can get back the evaporated water in the form of liquid water. You can get back the liquid water, so you can see droplets sticking over the lid. So this is your liquid water. This droplet has come from water vapors. Okay, so this my chapter is finished. Today I will give you some from this, your exercise from this. Okay, you have to do this today or tomorrow, then I will discuss next chapter. Okay, goodbye.